Chapel Church of Christ. We are continuing our lessons on the fruit of the Spirit, what they are. This is week 8, and we were talking about faithfulness. And the fruit I want you to maybe consider is a blueberry. When you're rooted in God, the Spirit produces fruit within you, fruit that looks like Jesus. And we've talked about 7 of them already. Love, which was the apple, the root of all fruit. Joy, which we talked about the banana, bending towards God even when our life feels upside down. Peace was the pear, because it talks about the idea of pairing relationships back together. Patience, we talked about the strawberry. Slow to ripen, but very worth the wait. We use the grapes to represent kindness, because that is the idea that kindness is best shared in clusters. And then last week, we talked about the pineapple, and that was goodness. Something that can be tough on the outside, but sweet on the inside. Now this week, I gotta say, I feel like we reach a fruit that doesn't really grab attention in the grocery store, but quietly carries a deep strength, and that is faithfulness. And this week, I want you to consider the mighty blueberry. Follow me into this journey. That was a quick transition, wasn't it? I've been having fun making these videos. But let's talk about blueberries. Small but steady is the first thing that I think about. You see, blueberries don't really ever shout for attention. They don't have the dramatic spikes of a pineapple or that bright, vivid color of a strawberry. But the thing is, blueberries are reliable. They're not rare. They're seasonal. They show up faithfully year after year after year. And when you find them, generally speaking, they're not alone. That, I believe, is a type of Christian spirit that grows within us. Small but steady and always showing up. Faithfulness doesn't always look dramatic. We talk about having the faith of Noah and building a giant ark. We talk about having the faith of Abraham and taking his family and leaving his homeland. We talk about having faith of Moses to go back to a country he fled. But we don't tend to talk about the faith of Noah's family, who sat there and listened to him say that we got to build a boat because these things called rain is coming and we got to gather all the animals. We don't talk about Abraham's family that went with him in that faithfulness of, hey, let's follow him to see what he's doing. We don't talk about Moses' faithful family who said, A, our brother's not crazy, or Zipporah who says, I follow my husband. Even her father who came and saw and helped and had that faith in them. It's not about those big moments of heroism where David goes and slays the giant. It's about showing up when nobody's clapping. Serving when nobody notices. Praying when no one listens. It's about being the type of person that people can count on because you've learned to count on God. I like to think of Daniel's daily faith. He's the perfect blueberry believer. In Babylon, when everyone else bowed to the king's statue, and under the decree of anybody who prays to any other god is going to die, Daniel bowed and prayed to God. When the law said stop praying, he opened the window and prayed anyway. 3 times, as he had always done. That wasn't defiance or being rebellious for rebellious sake. It was devotion. He didn't develop that faithfulness overnight. It grew slowly within him like fruit on the vine. Every day he trusted in God in the little things until his faith could stand the weight of the big things. Faithfulness is the habit of daily decisions that declare, God, I still trust you. Or if you flip over to the New Testament, and you'll find another picture of faithfulness. Paul and Silas sitting in a jail cell, their backs bleeding, their feet chained, their future uncertain. And what are they doing? They're singing hymns. They didn't wait for freedom to find their faith. They just sang in the dark. That, to me, is what faithfulness needs to sound like. Singing in the dark. It's a song that refuses to go silent when life gets hard. Their steady faithfulness shook the very foundations of the prison. You see, faithfulness isn't always going to break chains around you, but it always breaks chains within you. Before we talk about being faithful, though, we need to look at God's faithfulness first. The idea of looking to him to see how he is so that we can mirror him here on earth. Lamentations chapter 3 is written in heartbreak. Jerusalem was destroyed. Hope was gone. And yet Jeremiah says, "Great is your faithfulness." And why is that? Well, that's because when we break our promises, God keeps his. When we wander away, he always welcomes us back. Even when we're faithless, he continues to remain faithful. The Spirit grows faithfulness in us because we've seen it within him first. We've seen how it affects him. And if he can utilize it in that way, then we as Christians need to do the same thing. So, where do you need to show up again? Like I said before, faithfulness isn't flashy, it's steady, it's constant, it's repetitive. It is consistently doing the right thing, even when it's easier to quit. It's being present when it's not convenient. So, ask yourself, where do I need to show up again? Maybe it's within prayer. Reopen your window like Daniel did. Maybe it's in your relationships and rebuilding trust through consistency with one another. Maybe it's in service. It's showing up when other people won't. My challenge to you is to be a blueberry Christian. Small, steady, quietly faithful, always rooted in God's never-failing love. So this week, I implore you, I challenge you to pick an area of your life that needs steady faithfulness again. Prayer, family, worship, or even service. And then for just 1 week, show up unabashedly. No matter what you got to do, show up even if you don't feel like it, even if it's too quiet, and allow the Spirit of God to teach you to be steady, small, and strong. If there's anything that we can do for you here at the Lilies Chapel Church of Christ, my name is Alex Wooten. Reach out, and we'll try to do whatever we can to help you. God bless.